Is it better to take a job that pays well but lacks creative freedom, or to struggle for artistic fulfillment? Ooh, that one's loaded.
I think it will change from, you know, as you grow, or it really depends on what kind of phase of your life you're in. I mean, sure, at
Mhm.
times you would find yourself with a job which pays you well and also creatively fulfills you, and that is the best case scenario. But at the same time, if you are in a phase right now wherein you really have to stabilize your finances, so I feel like it is not a bad and a wrong thing to kind of take that up and kind of stabilize yourself, so that a few years down the line you are in a space wherein you are financially strong, and then you can kind of take more risk in terms of having a job which is more creatively fulfilling and which might take a little bit of time into kind of stabilizing financially. So I think it really depends on what phase you're in, and it is not like you would decide and you would stick with it for the rest of your life.
Right. I think there is no one um, size fits all answer to this question. It is extremely personal and it does change based on a lot of situations. Some people have the privilege of choosing a path where artistic fulfillment is priority because they don't have financial concerns, while other people do have very real, very um, profoundly um, concerning struggles, and they need to attend to those struggles. And in such cases, choosing a path of financial stability is not one that I would look down upon. I would suggest, however, that no matter what you do, um, just to quote Mark Twain and to rephrase it to my current context, he said something along the lines of never confuse your schooling with your education. The same way I would say, don't stop learning at work. Even if your work creatively fulfills you, all the more if it doesn't. Because you can't put all your eggs in one basket. And when you have a job that does not, let's say, creatively fulfill you, it is always a good idea to engage or find a way to create time and space for something that engages your creative juices. Because that way, one, you are going to be able to bring renewed perspectives to your job. You are going to be able to find ways to work with constraints, and perhaps a situation that you perceived that would not allow as much creativity just might end up paving way for creativity. And secondly, it just takes me back to the idea of creativity feeds creativity. So what you do at all times is, in some sense, fodder for your work. It just goes back to this quote where you're not bed rotting, you're fermenting, um, you are in the process. It's you. The silence is part of um, the music, and it's not the end of the world. Yes, but you do need to find a way to meet your needs as a creative, and you do need to find a way to satiate yourself and to replenish your um, self regularly. I am a very serious serial hobbyist, and I do believe that having multiple interests outside of your full time work is something that is 100% going to enrich your work and is going to help you bring more to your work, whether or not it is something quote unquote that you take up for artistic fulfillment or for financial reasons. So don't stop pursuing what you love no matter what is bottom line for me.
Yeah, just to add on, I completely agree with what you just said, and just to add on a bit more, I would say with creative lives, you don't have a framework, and
Right.
you seriously can't. Don't even try to find it, I would say, because it's such a unique path, and what might work for you wouldn't work for someone else.
For
And if
anyone
you
else.
kind of, keep comparing ki, oh, like, like a lot of people I see are following an XYZ path, they are doing these things here, you would always feel sad and bad about it because you are absolutely not listening to your internal voice at that point in time. And I've been in that space wherein it always feels like, oh, am I lost? Because I don't see a framework with where I'm heading. I don't know where I'm heading at. And while that fear is very real, it's just about really trusting your process, and just trusting that it's not like you're not moving. Like life is an ocean. It's you sometimes you feel like, oh, you are stuck in the same position, but everything kind of looks the same. You might have traveled 1,000 miles, you don't even know it. So there's a lot of internal things that are also happening. It's not apparent you externally you would see changes all the time, but there's a lot of you are on a journey, you're seeing things, you're interacting with new people, so you're never stagnant, I would say.
Right.
Secondly, I would say ki, when we say hobbies, or like, finding creative endeavors outside of work, it is also not necessary, or don't put yourself under the pressure that you have to produce only all the time.
Right.
As you said, you're not bed rotting, you're fermenting, or your creative process might involve just a whole week of watching movies at night, or like going out with walks with a friend, or just visiting your local favorite cafe. Because I think a big major chunk of being creative also involves being bored and letting your mind wander for some time. That's where you kind of start connecting back with yourself again. So I would say, don't curse yourself if you haven't produced in a while. Take it easy, because let's say you're already dealing with a lot, you are trying to find fulfillment in your job as well. So just take it easy on yourself, like engage in these things wherein it's just mundaneness of it all. I think that really kind of fuels back the creativity. And to add a bit more about like the job profiles, I feel in creative fields, job profiles are not just already made, like you make it for yourself. As you kind of get into that role, don't think ki, okay, I'm in this job role and this is all that I have to do, all that I can do. If there's a part of work that someone else is doing and it interests you, make sure that you make it clear to your employer or your teammates ki, okay, this is also something I do enjoy, and try to kind of contribute there, and eventually find yourself in a place wherein you are shifting roles a little bit, you're expanding your role a little bit. So again, don't think this is stagnant and you have to do the same thing for a year. You can still find and mold yourself in the space that you are in right now.
Hmm.
So that's the best
Also,
part about creative jobs.
right, right. I had one, like, I came across this Instagram post that I thought would be very relevant, just as one final point to add to what you were saying. You gave the analogy of an ocean. I am giving the analogy of a dance. So your life is a dance, and sometimes the choreography requires you to take two steps back,
Hmm.
and that's just part of the dance. So I don't think, like you said, there is no one set rule, one set path. It is a pathless land. It is a sandbox game, and you are the arbiter of how you wish to live and you wish to see this through. And with
Let's
that,
add
I
Ramdas
think
also,
it's
na? Let's add Ramdas also. You can act as if it's a great burden on you, or you can just feel like it's all part of the dance.
inshallah, indeed.